Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Alex, aka Cats Out of the Bag. My name is Marcus. I'm gonna give away my last video, um, but I'm coming at you with a Nats recap of my weekend, my experience at Nats. I have some profiles that are gonna come, at least one of what I played in the Zenkai Cup. I'll talk about how well I did in that. Um, when I make the profile, and then I'll talk about the main event, what I decided to play, what I ran into, and why it didn't go so hot. So, but what a crazy weekend. Um, and the first thing that I want to do, and I'm going to do my best to remember this off the top of my head, because there were just so many people that I wanted to shout out that I met and talked to. It was just absolutely insane event overall. So basically, like, shouts to the entire Cross World team. I basically got to meet everybody from there. Marcel, Joey, of course. Huge shouts to you, man. It was really great to meet you finally in person and to get that Trunks Jeter signed by you. Marcus Kentarsi, second place finish, man. We were so close. The Marcuses were almost on top of the world. Thank you for carrying us through the tournament, and what a wild event. Just high level play across the board. I think they had an excellent showing. I think at least three of them in top 32. Just absolutely wild and nuts. Trey Faircloth. It was great to actually meet you in person, man. Took Cooler Mill way deep. I think 5-1 at one point into the main event. Absolutely insane. Kaios Chris, man, it was finally, bro. Finally met in person. That was really cool. Yeah, I like. It was just crazy. It was just crazy. I don't know if you left early or what, but I wish I could have seen you for Zenkai Cup. That would have been fun. Not sure if you played or not. The Hill Twins, both of them, Eon and Eric, both just awesome, really great guys. It was awesome to chat with them for a bit. I saw them also go up to some people from Bandai. It looks like they knew them. And just basically chill vibes throughout the whole tournament. Also, just immaculate finishes, both in Zenkai Cup and I think at least top 32 to top 16. Massive shout out to Jared Lopez. That guy was just absolutely insane again with Android 16. Top 32. And dang it, man, I almost had you in the Zenkai Cup. Again, I'll talk about that when I get there, but I look forward to seeing you at Last Chance qualifiers in Vegas. Oh, man. It's just so many people that I met. Just absolutely nuts. Shout out to Sonny. Training with you, man. Just great vibes all weekend. Shout outs to Jason Neal, Gamer Dojo. I should probably put the hat on. For great judging and helping me out getting the cards that I need for the event. Don't want to leave anybody out before I get to the main homies that I came down there with. I'm trying to think. There's so many people. So many people from all over. Oh, shouts to Danny as well for thinking from Crossworld. For thinking I'm Jared Lopez. Call me Jared Lopez 2.0. I'm just kidding. I don't play 16 that well. And then shouts to my homie Blaze. It was great, man, to finally meet you. Jacob's talked so much about you. Shout outs also to Jacob, my guy, just supported us all weekend. Huge in trades, coming up clutch, just supporting each other back and forth for cards that we needed. Just really selfless. Drove us there, drove us back. It was a heck of a ride. And C-Rod, got to meet that. Shouts to PPG, Peter Katani, even though I know that's like not a thing right now and hasn't been for a while, but it was great to finally meet you again in person. The man, the myth, the legend, Jiren himself. Massive shout outs to George Machado for hosting the event. Fresco, is it Frisco? Fresco? I think it's Fresco, one of the two. Again, amazing showing in the main event, and just an all-around classy, great guy. Marquise McKinney, my guy, dude. Just chill vibes the entire tournament. You just bring the energy, bring the confidence. I absolutely love it. Sorry I couldn't be up there with you this time at Top 32. Shout out to Jordan Beard. I saw him. We didn't get to chat. I haven't seen you since Origin Chicago a couple years ago. Glad to see that you're still playing and doing well. And any and everybody that I have forgotten. There's so many people. Just so many big names there. Just so many people at the event that like my brain just can't hold it all in. So let's get on with the recap, shall we? So it was a 15-hour drive from good old Anderson, Indiana, to get me, Jacob, and Blaze all the way down there. We drove all the way through the night just to get there Friday morning, get at the venue, and they like open an hour and a half later than they were supposed to. That kind of stunk. Got in there, got my Vegito SCR that I needed for SS4 Gogeta, and then mistakes were made. Decided not to play Gogeta. Probably should have, because if I would have gotten into form with that deck, I think I would have gone the distance to top 32 at least. And then, did some massive trading, went back to the hotel room, and then we did, Jacob took a nap because obviously he'd been up all night driving us. You know, he didn't even want to switch. And then as a driver, and then we got up, went to Team Wars, had a blast. Team Wars, I played Sin. I played Sin Shenron for Team Wars. I destroyed everybody. That was pretty free. Round one, I can't really remember what I played. I just know that I thoroughly beat everybody but my either last round opponent or second to last round opponent. I think what I played was Ape Coup, and I won the die roll and was way too fast. And then round two, I played, I think, against a Crimson Coup burn deck, which was pretty interesting, and we'll talk about Crimson Coup here in a second when we get to main event topics. And then round three, I don't remember that matchup. Was it the mirror? It might have been the mirror. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. All I know is that it was a pretty free win. And I kind of just like destroyed it. So it was unfortunate though. We didn't win all three rounds. We lost round three. Basically, due to the fact that Jacob, who was playing Bardock, played against Gogeta. And when time and overtime was called, which we didn't hear time twice, and I'll talk about that when I get to like the how the event ran. Time and overtime was called. We could not hear it, and my opponent, my buddy Jacob, his opponent basically had one more card. They had same life, same battle cards, went to hand, and he was playing Gogeta. And Jacob could have won if he had just swung with like literally anything. Leader or his Gohan SCR instantly draws a card. And he was winning the game. Like, there was just nothing to do. He won. Um, which is unfortunate, but, it is what it is. So we didn't get full prize for that. Then I think after that, we just basically did trades and hung out, cashed in our points for the threes. There was some shenanigans going on with the Hill Twins and Marquise McKinney. That was hilarious. Basically, like offering, like, there was an Xbox on the line and people were paying money for points, and it was great. I didn't really get anything of a collection from that event, but it is what it is. And then I guess before I get to the main event, I'll just talk about like how things were kind of ran, like the smoothness of it. I think overall, like you could say that it was pretty smooth with a couple speed bumps, but like one thing that was 1,000% sure, I feel like there were too many events going on in the main room, and I feel that like Friday and Sunday in particular were just a little bit too chaotic with the number of events. Not that those events shouldn't be there, not that the venue wasn't big enough, but for the main event itself, LCQs, Gunslingers, and Threes were all on Friday, and it was just literally impossible to hear anything. The venue was packed. People are playtesting, trading, buying cards, going through whatever event it is, and so it's like it was just absolutely like way a lot. So like feels kind of bad. And then just not being able to hear time. There was even a time debacle in the main event where they called time early on accident by 10 minutes, and that caused a mass problem. So basically when time's called, if you were in game 2, the game's over. There's no 0, 1, 2, 3 to tie. So when they accidentally called time with 10 minutes left, people had picked up their decks and like started putting everything away to like record scores, and they got like screwed because like the player who had lost basically took the L. It was reported, and there were still 10 minutes in the round of play for them to get to game 3, and then if time was called 10 minutes later, then they'd have if they were in game 3, they'd have a chance to get to overtime, which really sucked. The second thing, and I saw this getting abused everywhere. This even got abused in my first round of 3v3s, which was just stupid. They had a rule where basically, like, if you had swung, you'd finish the battle. And I totally get it, right? You're swinging. You don't want time to in overtime to be called, and you basically get like, screwed out of the fact that you could have game or a chance to swing the game in your favor or whatnot, right? But here's the issue. I saw people just cheating all over the board because there weren't enough judges to monitor every table, and basically like just like continuing to try and play afterwards. I don't know why the person would want to do that. Like that's the opponent, but it happened. It even happened in the Zenkai Cup, which was annoying. And I think, like, in threes in particular, this was just really stupid. Like, they had called time in overtime, and no one, including us, had, like, realized that it was called. And essentially what ended up happening is Table A, which was my buddy Jacob who was playing, his opponent, they'd continue playing. His opponent was in the middle of a swing when a judge walked over and told us the time and overtime was called. The game should have stopped already. And we asked, well, was that like, when time was called? And they said, yeah, well, we heard them call time, but we didn't hear them say time and overtime, right? So, like, we just thought it was like time. And mind you, it's not like this event was being solely monitored by the time of that. There was still Gunslinger and LCQs going on, I think, at the time. So it was like just kind of like problematic. And then like the judge walks over, says the game should have been over, and then at the point of the game state, the opponent was swinging, but at the point of the game state when time was called, the game was over, right? And so, like, Jacob had won. He had the life lead. He had everything. And his opponent, didn't really know what to do. And then, like, his B teammate basically, like, fought to, like, have it be a thing that, like, this is the rules, right? Like, this happened like this, right? Like, you said that we could do this. You're here now. Like, we didn't hear it. That's not fair to us. Like, that's the rules, right? And basically put the judge on the spot, like, between a rock and a hard place, which is just stupid. And it's relevant because, like, we would have won. And it's very clear that we would have won. It's best of one, and there's a life lead. Time and overtime should have been called. There's nothing to combo. There's nothing to do, right? And it didn't matter anyway. We had Gohan SCR in hand, so it's like his opponent didn't do the damage. So it was just like really stupid, and like one of those things where it's like, why? Like, why do people do this crap? And like, I wouldn't say that was like a majority or even a lot of players by a long shot, but there were just like a few group of people that was like, yeah, you should probably stop trying to abuse this. It's pretty annoying. So we wrap up from the venue, try to go to the Dragon Ball Ramen shop. There were people literally, the line was so wide outside of that there were also people camping, and there was like no parking. Went to try to go to a Japanese steakhouse and ended up not going there, and then went to Wendy's and had a horrible interaction. Apparently, like people in Florida, Wendy's don't like you giving you money. They tell you that like you can only do one order, and so we ordered for the whole car. And then they were like mad that we kept ordering food. It's like, there's 3 people in here. Like, we want our stuff. And, $45 later, apparently they're having like we had offended them. So we went back to the hotel. I got to watch the Warriors play until like 1 a.m, and then went to bed and woke up for the main event. And main event, I had Gamma ready. I was ready to destroy Red. It was pretty free. If I got to do what I wanted to do, that did not end up happening at all. Round 1 sat out against Soul Striker, and immediately my heart sank because I knew this was going to be a round 1 loss, just like off the bat. There's really nothing you can do to Soul Striker. They untap more energy defensively than you, and they play way more powerful and better protected cards than you. You can aggro them down, do whatever, but they're just going to net the advantage that they do, and it feels horrible. It was awful. Nothing really to say. My side deck was equipped to handle it, but Boo Unison is just too powerful against Gamma in general. I don't think that my deck really particular has a problem with anything that doesn't try to untap as many, if not more than I do, or main deck's Boo Unison. So it's basically going to be only blue, and not every blue deck is playing Boo Unison, but a lot of them there were. Moving on to the next round. I played Sin Shenron, absolutely decimated him. It was not close. I was at like 4 life for the longest time. Then I played Gamma, won that. And then I played, after that, I played Android 6. No. I think I played Gogeta. I thrashed that. I not only went first, but I played the new Gohan superhero card, and he literally could not attack. I did it like 2 turns in a row, and he could not attack at all. From turn 3 to 4, and there's just nothing to do. And then round 5, I went against Android 16. Game 1, he just outvalued me because of Boo Unison, which I wasn't side decking, and I think this is a mistake on my part. I was not side decking, what's it? The Black Smoke. And in hindsight, that was definitely a mistake. I didn't main deck or side deck any. I really should have done, but at least main deck 2 and sided 2, because it astronomically helps against like the blue matchup. It doesn't do anything to Boo, but it certainly does everything to what is it, the blockers that deck plays, that 16 plays, and barrier cards. So like Another World Blitz just didn't get the value that it normally would. And I really should have, yeah, I really should have cited those for that. Then I'm like upset because game 2 I should have won. I was down to 1 card in deck and I cited 4 Gotenks Unisons. So that's like my barrier removal to the bottom of the deck and a dual attack card against Bunison that like they can't interact with. That's like kind of my tech. And I got like destroyed. Like absolutely destroyed. Because my last 2 life, when I got down to my last card in deck, was 2 of the Unisons. And if I had both of them, I would have won the game. And I would have probably drawn, if not went into time in overtime and won the game because I'm the more aggressive deck. And then unluckily, the only red deck that that Gamma can't play against was Red Brawly. And that was my round 6 opponent. And I was absolutely livid. I thought I was in a good position game 1, and I played the Gohan that like makes him have to sack battle cards 2 or less in order to attack with battle cards. And he abused it. This was ingenious. He played the 1-drop, and then he basically like he plays the 1-drop, and then he essentially was like swinging only with crit. And so he would swing and then sack the 1-drop and then proc his leader's effect to pitch a card and play like a 4 and then take a card out of my hand and then swap into the 5. Which felt absolutely awful. And he did that twice. And paid for also the double strike crit guy, which just really hurt. So, yeah, it didn't feel good at all. And by that point, I was absolutely livid. I was tired, starving. So I dropped X3. I scrubbed out. I was so pissed at myself because, like, I kind of swore that the majority of the tournament would have been red. It was not that, or all the red was up at the top tables, where I probably should have been if I played red. And it was just a mistake. Like, Gamma, it was too easy to not necessarily miss sequence per se, but to I don't know, it's like I just ran into 2 blue matchups and the only red matchup that like, you know, like that you don't want to see. And yeah, I just think that Boo Unison needs to be banned. Like, that would be the one thing that I'd say is, like, a major takeaway. Boo Unison needs to go. And Gamma, while it was able to top, I think Legends topped with Gamma. Because it is such an easy matchup against Sin and Sin and Gogeta. Like, it is so easy. Unless, like, you're attacking, like, certain cards. Because basically, like, they have no aggression if you resolve a Gohan. And then when they go to play like their big card, you just Dirty Burst them because you have Dirty Burst on top of it, and they really don't do much. They don't really punish you with your like untap effects. A lot of people were trying to do like the Cunnings and the Pilafs and the whatnots, but you just really didn't care. You just really outvalued. I mean, since Shenron, you just like sucked up their whole board half the time, so on and so forth. So it was one of those things where like I didn't mind that much. Um, but and Gogeta's the same. Like Gogeta can't like Gogeta like it's really bad for Gogeta. And so yeah, I was pretty salty and because I know that I'm a better caliber player than X3 by round 6 and dropping. And I showed that in the Zenkai Cup. I unfortunately just and yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when we get there. But like it was just a mistake. And all honest to play Gamma. In all honesty, I should have played Gogeta. Um, and the reason I say that is because when I played it Sunday for the Zenkai Cup, um, I absolutely decimated everybody. Um, I I I'll talk about like the score and the overall placement that I got in the Zenkai Cup. So there were over 200 people in it. I think like the Zenkai Cup was as big as the Euronats, and there should have been I think only Swiss, but for some reason we cut to Top Cut, and Top Cut was top 16. And I went X2, which 9 people made it into on X2, and my even though I was X2, the strength of the people that I beat was not good enough. And my only 2 losses were to a Sin Shenron player that I should not have lost to, and Jared Lopez, which I should not have lost to. The Sin Shenron player, I missequenced my attacks and plays. I played Gogeta and then the Vegito SCR. If I didn't say it, I played SS4 Gogeta. And I should have played the SCR before I ever swung at his life with the Gogeta. So I could rip a super combo out first. And because I did not do that, he effectively comboed out a little too easy. And basically, like, the first thing that I would have done was swing for Quad Strike, and the only card that he would have had in hand to stop the Quad Strike was the after image technique, in which he took a life. And I could have done that. I could have also taken the super combo, swung with Gogeta, basically it make him combo everything, and then swing with the Quad Strike. If that makes any sense, it's a little bit iffy and weird. If he takes the damage, I was low enough and tapped out, I could Z Awaken and just kill him with my leader. And or I could straight out combo everything and just be like over combo on the Quad Strike and kill him. And the math worked out that he got out by 5 after Z Awaken, so that really sucked. And it's effectively because of the fact that I did not play that Vegito first to take the super combo. I swung Gogeta, let him combo out, tried to take another super combo. There wasn't one to take, and it just bit me in the butt, and that really sucked. So, yeah. And then the Jared Lopez game that I lost, he was playing Cell. Again, I'm playing Gogeta. I defended incredibly. He even forced me to Z Awakened, and I had my Vegito SCR in hand. I played it. I swung. I took a card from him, and it gave my leader 25k, and I literally defended the entire next turn against a Cell Xeno, 2 attack Piccolos, and some other stuff that he had on board. But the problem is that I did not charge 1 Z energy during my combo set, because I was just afraid that I lost. And I had survived his kill turn, and I had survived the clapback post the Z Awaken and gotten to my turn, and because I didn't have 1 more Z energy, I lost. So if I had not been a scrub and charged, I would have been fine. Because I didn't beat Jared Lopez this time. Jared. This time. I'm going to look forward to seeing you at LCQs, but I'm coming for you. And Marquise McKinney. Both y'all. And then, I think it was around this time that Andrew Duvall did what would be considered the inconceivable. Our national champion and world champion won nationals again against Marcus Cantarzi. And there's just nothing else to say. He has to be the best player in the world. Like, there's just no other way to put it. Like, he has to be the best. So, shouts to him. And, wow. Amazing showing. Yeah. But, basically, for the rest of my Zenkai Cup, after I lost to Sen Shenron, I basically did not make a mistake deck-wise, and thoroughly thrashed every player, whether it be Sin, Gogeta, Gohan, Gotenks, the new Veku Gotenks, whatever that is. Yeah, I destroyed everything. And I was so comfortable. I'm so comfortable with that deck now that I'm pretty sure that if I had played that in main event, I probably easily would have walked in the top 32. It felt that way. It didn't matter what I sat against. It didn't matter what I played against. It felt that good. Even if I would have played against blue, it would have felt really good. And my main deck list and side deck lists were just so strong against blue. I had main decked 2 of the Shin Noble Supremacies, 2 of the Pilafs, and 2 of the Black Smoke Dragons, and there's nothing. I mean, like, that just covers so much of the matchup. I draw so many cards, and I just so readily handle what it is that they have and what they want to do that it just feels too good. So it was weird. It was just weird. And I should have just played the meta that I knew would have been solid. Like, even when I was playing Sin and 3v3s, my buddy Jacob was like, I'm really surprised you're not playing Sin. You just so comfortably handled everybody. And I'm like, yeah, but I prepared Gamma, and I think that it's going to be good against Red. And then I just ran into 2 blue decks. Actually, I ran into like three or four blue decks. I ran into the Mirror. I ran into SS3, or into 16, and like it just feels bad, man. Like, I just didn't get where I needed to be and didn't play the decks I needed to see. And just to like talk about the field for a second. So your obvious people were gonna, your obvious decks were there. You had your couple random Android 16 players. Jared Lopez, by the way, was not the 16 player that I played. It was another person. So you had 16, and you had your Android 21. There was a Black Mass Saiyan, and obviously the one of Red Brawly. I remember my round 3 opponent was in 3v3s. It was Yellow Piccolo. Either way, Anyway, I digress. So, but you had those like, and then your other rogue decks, right? Y'all Piccolo's kind of rogue. You just had a lot of that, and for the most part, like your standard like rogue was there, but and your assumed criminals were there. Gogeta was there, Sin was there, Gamma was there. Then you had 7Ku. There are a few players playing that, and then what? Trunks Gita, a sprinkle of that. Some Gotenks players. That was a little rogue that I thought was actually really good. One topped. I think got top 8 even. And then what blew my mind, though, was there was clearly a deck in the room. And there were multiple variants of the deck that nobody was ready for. And this was absurd. Just absolutely absurd. Lucy, stop. No, don't lick that, honey. Sorry, she licks the couch sometimes. And it's a leather couch. Anyway, nobody was ready. Nobody. If you Crimson Coup, and like honestly, you watch the players play it, and so many of the top players and pros were on it. It was nuts, man. I think like at least 3 members from Crossworld, the Hill Twins were playing it. Andrew Duvall was playing it. Marquise McKinney was playing it. I mean, there were so many people playing Crimson Coup. And this was definitely the surprise factor of the tournament. One, they had a complete edge. There's no way anyone sat down across from you and had any idea what you were doing. There's just no shot, no chance, no way, no how. Secondly, the variance of it, there is a burn version that can take you from 4 to 0. And it's pretty uninteractable. So what you do is if you can get to turn 5, you can play down Rival Seeker, activate Rival Seeker effect to pick up, your 2 cards and reset your energy. And then you play the Gohan SCR, make them pick everything up if they don't do something to it. They have more cards than you in hand, then you burn them. And then you play the Goku. Before the Gohan SCR, you actually probably play the Burn SS4 card. That's a Z card. That takes them from 4 to 3. You then play the Gohan SCR, make them pick everything up. That's 3 to 2. And then you bring down the 6-drop, if that doesn't immediately have to be played on top anyway, on top of the Rival Seeker, and then you cat blow them and do an extra damage. And either way, if the 6-drop has to be played on top of Rival Seeker, which now I'm thinking about it, I think it does. When you burn them for the Z Battle card SS4, it might be like Defender of Life or something like that, whatever the Z Battle card SS4 Son Goku is. When you burn them with that, that's dealing 2 damage. The Gohan SCR does 1, and then Cat Blow will finish it because the 6-drops got Invoker before any attacks. Someone got also at the tournament, they got 6 to 0'd by that deck, which is nuts. And when I played against that deck in 3s, I had 6 life, and he almost got it, but he didn't see the Gohan SCR. If he would have seen it, he would have killed me. But without the burn combo, he was toast. So it was kind of like a ride or die kind of thing. And it was pretty good. there was that variant, and then there was just like generic good blue stuff, and you could just tell that it was playing a completely different game than every other blue deck in the room. This includes Blue Beerus, this includes SS3, Gamma, all of it. They were just playing a completely different game. No matter what way you looked at it, they had cards and the colors for everything. They were a blue deck, obviously, so they had Dirty Burst. They had lots of ways to combo because of the cards that you run, facilitate. This Videl shot up to $5 as a foil because of it. Good thing that I bought an entire case of that set. So I have all the cards that I'll ever need from that. It was playing the new Piccolo, the new Gohan rare, and there were two SCRs of choice. Not Marquise, but Marcus Cantarsi opted to play the SCR choice of the new Gohan card, which was pretty cool to see. And then other players opted into Kaioken. Kaioken felt like a little bit more susceptible to the Pilaf and the Cunning cards, but all in all, overall, was still both of them were not wrong. They are a preference. Kaioken untapping all of your energy is a blowout, no matter what way you look at it. And the Gohan SCR has an activate main to stand 2 cards, so it could be anything / activate battle. So you're getting a lot of value, instant burn, and a 40k crit. So there is a lot. I mean, there were definitely a preference to both. To talk about, what was it? To talk about Andrew Duvall, who was also playing that deck. He had a very interesting tech too. He was playing a Trunks that allows you to bounce one of your battle cards, I think, to the bottom of the deck, search a Tapion card, which basically meant the 3-drop unison that you +2 it, switch to rest mode, draw a card, which gives you access to God Sealing, and then bounce a card on your opponent's board 3 or less back to the hand, which effectively kills Z battle cards, literally for free. Like, it doesn't cost you energy, you just instantly out the card. So, like against red with Rush Attack, you could instantly get rid of it. That was just incredible. It appears to me that Crossworld's variant, though, went with a Boo Unison lineup, which I don't think is in any way wrong either, because Boo Unison instantly puts red in a horrible position. In Shenron, they basically have to get the Ape Drop Barrier, or it's going bye-bye, same thing to the 4. And against Gogeta, and it's also really strong against the Z battle cards. It's just a stupid card that needs to be banned, honestly. Both that and Ready to Rumble just need to go for the rest of eternity and never come back. But they both effectively it effectively gets the job done on what it needs to do. And Boo Unison, I don't think the Tapion play or the Boo Unison is wrong. The Boo Unison is drawing you a card. It is a 20k double strike. It is an untap of an energy, and it is going to net you that energy back that you don't have to spend on the resource. Another couple of big differences between Cantarsi's list and I believe Andrew Duvall's list is that Duvall, I think, was playing a 2-2 split between the Vegeta Super Combo and the Zeno Super Combo. And I think Cantarsi's list was playing just a raw 4 of Vegeta Draw 2. So there was a little bit of variation there, and I think that both are valid. Andrew Duvall won the event, so it's not to say that his was the best list in the room, per se. I think both have their merit. But I think that was probably came down to a die roll thing, most likely, more than anything. And, there's just not a whole lot to say. Oh, sweetie. Hang on real quick. She wants let out of the room. He's a sweet girl. Are you sad because you're trapped in here? Come on. Sorry about that. She gets a little bit stir crazy. So anyway, yeah, I mean, you really couldn't, I mean, other than the burn one, which I think it's like more cheeky than anything, but like it's such a such a problematic strategy to like defend against, right? Like, because there's basically a clock put on you. And unless you're red, you're not really meeting that clock. And I think that Gogeta can get it done. But then there's Dirty Burst, or there's the other techs like Shin, right? They can really slow you down. And it's difficult because like Shin 3 and a 4, when they play blue, if they leave any energy up, it makes it really rough. And yeah, it's rough. And there's just not a whole lot to say other than that. Like, it was extremely clear right away to everybody after 3 rounds that there was a completely unknown blue deck in the room that was dominant. Dominant. This is the kind of tech that you want to find. You know, a lot of people come up with like strategies like I do. Like, I do that sometimes. There's a strategy that I think I could have actually brought to this tournament that would have been disgusting. But I'm not going to spitball on like how well I think it would go against the meta, because obviously the meta was played and they dominated in the way that they did, and there's no testing against it. But that's actually partially the point. These teams, these players, whether they shared the tech with each other or not, or they found it individually, kudos to them, man. They found not only a deck that played optimal, precise cards, they played just the best of the best and enough of the best of those cards to effectively alter games in their favor and really put into perspective how deck innovation on a leader that at first glance seems okay or good, but we don't know what to do with it. You grind those hours, you put the time in, you can get results, right? If you understand, like, all these cards are just so good against the meta, what would be the best leader to do it in? And if this is a leader, like, can we test this? Can we like find that out? And it was just, evident that all of them, whether they shared that tech with each other or not, had clearly solved the puzzle nobody was ready for, nobody had tested for, and dominated. No other way to say it, no other way to put it. It was absolutely dominant. And kudos to them. It's what makes them pros and what makes them the best. It's what's going to drive me to stand among them eventually in this game. And I just want to say congratulations to all of them who made it into the top and for discovering this and bringing it into the game for other people to try. You guys did awesome. And again, shout outs to Andrew Duvall and Marcus Cantarsi. We have what I thoroughly believe to be the 2 best in our nation to go represent us for Worlds right now. And that's not to slight anyone else, but Marcus Cantarsi was literally at table 1 for like, I don't know how many rounds, like 7 or 8 rounds straight. Like, he just was not dropping. And then I think he lost in the last round to Rohit, who was undefeated with Android 21 going into day 2. And I think Rohit lost at top 32. But yeah, I just can't imagine 2 better players to represent us. I'm so excited. I can't wait to go to Vegas to hopefully stand next to you guys at Worlds. Not saying I will, but we'll see. The meta is definitely going to be different by then, right? I think it's in March. And we'll see what changes are to come, either via a list or sets or whatnot. So yeah, and then, after Zenkai Cup, I ended up going X2, getting 27th place, even though I had the same record as 9th, which really sucks, because it effectively removed me from being able to get a signature Goku card, which really ticked me off. But, can't win them all. So we'll see. We'll see, what's to come. I got a lot of great cards. It's not that I was in any way short of plussing in value for those of you who were at the event and understand about those dollar binders on Friday from PPG, poor guys, they got kind of robbed. Basically, like, I'm not gonna like, yeah, if you were there, you know what happened. I'm not gonna talk about it, but it was wild, absolutely wild. Shout out to them. Someone probably got fired that day. Not really, but someone probably did. If you guys know what I'm talking about. And wow, what a crazy ride Nats was. A little bit disappointing in my performance, but I'm going to bounce back. I always do when it comes to this game, and I know my upper limit potential. So we'll be there. We'll get there. And it was, I mean, honestly, it was so awesome to just to talk with everybody, to meet everybody, get my Trunks Jeter card signed by Joey. You know, that is like a dream come true. So Joey, if you end up watching this, thank you again, man. And yeah. So let me know what you guys think about this, as always, in the comment section down below. I will bring you my Gogeta that I played for Zenkai. You are not getting a Gamma deck profile because we're still too salty about it. Definitely some adjustments that I would make, but it is what it is. I now know what I would play going forward. And definitely, if you're watching this and you have a Nats coming up, or some kind of event that's like big or important to your shop or area, be on the lookout for Crimson Coup. It is a very strong deck, so if you have any strong players who can play it, it will decimate and dominate. It really will. And it was just so effective in so many ways. And massive shout outs to, again, everybody who was on the tech of the weekend for sure. You took the entire room by storm. You really did. And tip the hat off to you. And Worlds is going to be represented by some great players, and I can't wait to see what the future brings for this game and the next competitive adventure. So without further ado, this is Marcus, as you all got to hear from this weekend, aka Alex from TCG Discussions. I'm signing off. I'll catch you guys next time. Laters.